Welcome to Making It with Terry Woolman, the show that explores the secrets, successes, and strategies for making it in the music biz. And now, here's your host, Terry Woolman.
Welcome to the show, and thanks for tuning in. I want to say a quick thank you to my guests from last week's episode, hit song radio promoter Jason Goroff. If you didn't get to hear it, you can listen to Jason's interview and all of our episodes at entertalkradio.com/makingit, or download our app and take us with you. Also, be sure to tune in next week to hear my conversation with Grammy and Emmy Award-winning engineer Peter Kelsey. And in 2 weeks from now, my good friend, Grammy Award-winning blues artist, Keb Mo. So we've got some very interesting conversations coming up. I'd like to take a moment to thank the companies that help me sound my best, whether performing live or in the studio when I'm recording and producing music. Taylor Guitars, Duesenberger Guitars, Seymour Duncan Pickups, Diodario Strings and Planet Waves, Mesa Boogie Amps, Motu Digital Performer, Fishman Acoustic Amps, IK Multimedia, Exotic Effects, and Blue Microphones. Thank you, everybody. So often I get asked questions about the creative process. So I created this show to focus on what it takes to have a lasting career in the ever-changing landscape of the music business. You're really in for a treat, as I've invited my friends, some of the best and brightest in music, to share their stories on how they have influenced the music that has shaped our lives. I guarantee you're going to love it. So let's get started. My guest today is Melanie Taylor. Born in New Orleans on New Year's Day to a classical pianist mother and a family of artists, Melanie Taylor's rich, eclectic musical heritage has helped guide and define her own artistry ever since. As a recording artist for Capitol Records with the dance music duo Bardeux, Melanie landed a top 5 single on the Billboard Dance charts. Melanie's holiday CD, This Christmas, weaves an artfully unique tapestry of her favorite Christmas songs, and her latest CD, entitled The Road I'm On, is an inspired combination of originals and covers of fresh arrangements with her own very unique spin. As one of Bette Midler's infamous and legendary Harlettes for nearly a decade, Melanie Taylor has been seen twirling and singing on the Emmy Award-winning Diva Las Vegas, and with Barry Manilow on his Emmy Award-winning special, Manilow, Music and Passion. Melanie has been an in-demand featured vocalist on major world tours, film and television, and shared the stage with such artists as David Foster, John Mayer, Stevie Wonder, Donna Summer, Barry Manilow, Chaka Khan, Ashford and Simpson, Billy Preston, Chris Bodie, Barbra Streisand, Ray Charles, Elton John, Billy Joel, Sheryl Crow, Michael McDonald, Jackson Browne, Sarah McLachlan, Tears for Fears, Michael Bolton, Patti LaBelle, Ronnie Spector, Jeffrey Osborne, Brian Wilson, Jim Belushi, Sheena Easton, Paula Abdul, Jeff Barry, Dionne Warwick, Melissa Manchester, Carol Bayer Sager, Dave Koz, Willie Nelson, Deepak Chopra, Joe Walsh, Steven Tyler, and as the first female vocalist to sing with the legendary rock band Aerosmith on their Music from Another Dimension album and tour in 2012. Please welcome one of my favorite singers and favorite people, my very special guest, Melanie Taylor. Hi, Melanie.
Hi, Terry. Thank you for that amazing introduction. Wore me out. That was a lot of people.
Well, if the show was longer than an hour, I'd still actually be reading more credits, but I had to cut them down.
I've been busy.
You certainly have. That's a very interesting list of artists that you've worked with.
Thank you. I've been very fortunate.
Yeah, it's been fun to watch your career, and just for you listening out there, Melanie's actually in the studio with me today. So this is really pretty special.
Yeah.
Because normally the guests call in or we go on location to their home or studio, but Melanie is here in our home and studio, sitting right across from me. So this is going to make for a more fun hour.
Definitely.
I'd like to start by reading a quote from your website.
Okay.
Maybe we're notes plucked from strings we cannot see. Maybe we're all echoes of each other. Maybe that sound is all we are. What did you mean by that?
Well, that's a quote I found and really resonated with me because I think that that we kind of all have lots of dimensions to who we are and make us up as people. So sometimes I think it's nice to think of people in the abstract, just as an equalizer almost. And I think that sound is a really powerful tool, and it's a really powerful way to communicate. And that's what music is, and talking and conversation. And so I think that really, that's kind of what I was thinking about when I read it.
It's a great quote.
Yeah, wish I'd written it.
Well, you have written some things that are, and from my point of view, equal to that.
Thanks.
You claim to have been inspired by such diverse and unique artists as Joni Mitchell and Billie Holiday, Stevie Wonder, Miles Davis, Donny Hathaway, and the poetry and writing of E.E. Cummings and Rumi, Stephen King, who we all love. Yeah, same here. I love getting lost in a Stephen King book.
He's an incredible writer. His vision is beyond, and the environments that he creates and the atmospheres that he creates. I think that of that entire list of people you read, whether they're writers or musicians or singers, and obviously Joni being, I think, the greatest poet of all. I think that's what it's about, is the world that they create, and we just sort of are a part of. For that 3-minute song or that 500-page novel, we get to kind of walk into a new world and put ourselves in it and see how we fit
or
in.
lose ourselves in it.
That's right. Yeah. So that's what those inspirations are about for me, kind of losing myself.
So how would you define your very eclectic taste?
I like everything.
Okay.
I grew up listening to being exposed to everything from opera to gospel to the Latin Mass. My mom's a classical musician. She's a classical pianist. My grandma sang, did a lot of light opera and everything, and pop. I remember watching the Beatles on Ed Sullivan, and so I never really ruled anything out when it came to my musical taste. I mean, there's things I kind of lean more strongly towards when I'm listening to music, but I think that's why it's so eclectic. And I started out as a dancer, so I used to dance before I sang, and that's a whole different way to express yourself with music.
Right.
Or even in silence. When I was getting my degree, I have a degree in dance and theater. And, we would do a lot of movement without music at all, just dancing sort of to the breath, which is a whole nother realm of, sound and power. So eclectic, I think, is the best word to describe my taste and the way I see the world. Yeah. You
mentioned your grandmother just very quickly. So she sang also? I didn't know that about her.
Yeah, my grandma was hilarious, and she was just so much fun, and so she was a true creative. She was a great singer. She sang, like I said, light opera, and of course she loved to sing in church and everything, and sang around the house, whatever. And she inspired me a lot, of course, as a singer. And my mom, just from DNA.
We're going to talk about your family in the next segment a little bit. I want to talk. I want to play a little, the title track, just a little excerpt from your most recent solo album called The Road I'm On. So let's take a listen to that, and then I'll ask you a quick question on that.
I want to believe in this road that I'm on. I want to believe that it's taken me far, far away. And if it leads me there, I know that I will find my love's open arms at the other end. I drive with my guard down and eyes open wide. I'm feeling your presence as every mile races by. The crossroads of a dream. This ride's not what it seems. Let it go. Let your heart open just for me. Oh, I'm driving on the road to you. Nothing's ever gonna stop me.
That is Melanie Taylor, the title track from The Road I'm On. Got about a minute and a half to get this question in, and then we'll talk more. Tell me what inspired this record and what you were hoping to say or show about yourself as an artist.
Wow. Well, that's a great question. So I know we have a lot of time. So
we can continue the answer.
My friend Larry Cohn and I were lost in Germany. We were driving around trying to find our way either to or from the gig. I forget. We were on tour with Cecilia Noel, who's amazing. Anyway, and we were really lost. And so the lyric just came up like, I want to believe. I have no idea where we are, and I want to believe this road we're on. And Larry was like, you should write that down. So I did. And when we got home, we finished the song. And it evolved into a journey of life kind of song, and going back and to the one thing that really keeps you anchored, the love that's waiting for you at home, or the love that you find along the way.
Mm-hmm. That's a fantastic song and image.
Thanks.
I'm just going to cut to, where can people find your record? Why don't you tell them about your website before we go into this first break?
Okay. First of all, I want to say thank you for amazing production. You and Jerry Lynn
thank you.
Co-produced this record for me, and I really appreciate it. And I love what you did and what you brought to the project and helped bring my vision to life. The record is available on iTunes. The record's called The Road I'm On, and it's also on Amazon and CD Baby.
So everybody go check it out. You're listening to Making It with Terry Wollman, and we will be right back with Melanie Taylor.
Are you serious about your music? Are you ready to run with the big dogs? The experts at Pitbull Audio have the gear to get you into the game. From leading manufacturers like Mesa Boogie, Fender, Pioneer, and American Audio. To sound your best, you need the best. Pitbull Audio can deliver in rehearsal, on stage, and into the big time. Dropping beats, shredding guitar, or making the crowd roar. Whatever you dream, Pitbull Audio can help make it happen. We are Pitbull Audio. We want you to play it loud. PitbullAudio.com.
This is Jackie Bertoni from Jackie's Groove. Come join me weekly on my journey through the music business as I take you behind the velvet rope, interviewing industry notables such as Al Di Meola, Michael McDonald, and Al Jarreau, to name but a few. Listen to their stories on being in the studios recording #1 hits and onto the stages throughout the globe. Allow me to be your music historian. You can hear me live every Monday at 2 p.m. and every Wednesday at 12 noon Pacific Standard Time, or 24/7 on jackiesgroove.com. Ready to get your groove on?
Hi, this is Tim Dolbear from Eclectic Studios. I'm a full-time mixing and recording engineer. I work with Grammy winners, labels, and indie artists, using state-of-the-art digital mixing and restoration tools and the very best in analog gear. Really, though, it's my ability to bring tracks to life and fulfill your vision for your music. This has made me sought after by producers and artists worldwide. So spend your time working on music and not chasing a mix down a rabbit hole. Go to timdolbear.com and check out our free one-song mix offer. Hi, I'm Tim Dolbear, the host of Sound Experience on Intertalk Radio. Each week, I talk with top professional audio engineers, producers, musicians, and the manufacturers that make the tools that we use in the studio each and every day. From capturing the perfect take to mastering your final release, and the tools and how the pros use them, we are going to dive deep into their process and learn from their experience. I look forward to you joining us each week on Sound Experience with me, your host, Tim Dolbear.
You know what's all around you every waking moment of your life? Marketing. You're choking on it. I'm Scott Robertson, and when it comes to strategic PR, branding, and marketing, I've seen it all. And actually, I'm still seeing it because bad marketing never sleeps. Join me each week on May the Best Brand Win, right here on Intertalk Radio, and learn how to make the marketing for your brand unforgettable.
Hi, this is Tim Dolbear, host of Sound Experience here on Intertalk Radio. And Source Connect by Source Element is the essential tool that we use to link between my studio in Austin, Texas, and the WS radio station in San Diego. Now, with Source Connect, not only can we communicate in real time and with HD audio, but it's synced up and is of a high enough quality that I can use it for real-time ADR work, remote recording, and overdubbing, and it even allows me to remotely control a DAW. Source Connect by Source Element. Affordable, high-quality audio and video connection over the internet for all of your production needs.
Welcome to Making It with Terry Woolman, the show that explores the secrets, successes, and strategies for making it in the music biz. And now, here's your host, Terry Woolman.
My guru, my rock star, my medicine man. You got me thinking and believing I can leap from tall buildings so high. Superhero style. Sing like Fitzgerald. Baby, blow it like Miles. Clearly I'm crazy, but your juju so strong. You make me wanna do something wrong. Something wrong. Yeah, make me wanna do. My best friend is scandalized. She says that I've lost my grip. She said, baby, I lost my grip. Somehow, baby, you just figured how to flip my script. So she shouldn't trip. Let's put on dark chocolate.
That is one of my favorite Melanie Taylor songs called Something Wrong, and I'm in studio with Melanie right now.
Hi,
Welcome
everybody.
back. Welcome back.
Thanks for having me.
You're very welcome. I've been looking forward to doing this episode with you.
Yeah, it's great.
I love the imagery that you use in your lyrics.
Thanks.
Here, just for example, I want to surf a tsunami, fly to the moon, walk through Death Valley in the middle of June, indulge like Elvis, deface a Monet, have passionate kisses in the middle of the day.
Yeah.
Wow.
Thanks.
That verse seems to describe the philosophy of your life.
Got to go for it.
Tell me about the song and your philosophy.
Okay,
You got to go for it.
Yeah, you kind of do. You know, the song came about when I was working with Barry Manilow, and I was driving back and forth to Las Vegas several times a month. And so, you know, when you're on the road, there's nothing out there except you and the cactus and the lizards and stuff. A lot of wide open spaces, so you have a lot of time to think. And so I would listen to podcasts and stuff. But this song I was writing in my head, and I realized I needed to get it down. So I had a legal pad on the passenger seat, and I wasn't texting, but I was writing with one hand. It's kind of like half off the page and driving with the other hand. Anyway, I think that just thinking about the lyrics, I wanted to do something funny. I think it's kind of funny, the extremes. Like it's inconceivable to deface a piece of art.
Sure.
But that's how desperately this guy makes her feel, you know, like she wants to do something really huge and wrong and kind of really off base. And so that's where those extreme images came from. Like, how far can you possibly take it?
It's fantastic.
Thanks. It's fun.
Well, speaking of your work with Barry Manilow, you performed a 5-year run with Barry Manilow in his Las Vegas production of Music and Passion, where you had the opportunity, once again, to showcase your singing and dancing. What's your favorite thing about working with Barry?
You know, there's so many things. I've been really fortunate with so many of the incredible artists I've worked with. Barry is really, he's a consummate showman, entertainer, arranger, kind of like he does it all. And I've been a fan of Barry Manilow since I was a kid. I choreographed dances to his songs in high school. Bandstand Boogie, I think I did a big tap number with my friend. So I've been a huge fan. And so getting to work with him was kind of like, how did this even happen? But I'm so fortunate because I learned so much from him. I think that just watching his process, watching how he would pull a song apart and put it back together, come up with new arrangements on the spot, that sort of thing watching him a sort of a master at work, and then just being on stage with him because he loves to perform, and so do I, and so we would have a lot of fun just laughing and singing together. So just being in the flow of it with him is really a gas. He's an amazing man. He really is.
I couldn't agree more. I mean, I am a fan of Barry's also, and what a lot of people don't know about him or forget that in addition to being an entertainer and a star, he's a fantastic piano player. Yeah, he is. People know he's a great writer, but he's an amazing piano player, and he's an even more amazing arranger. Yeah, he has a facility. I've never seen anything like it, really. And he loves music so much, and he's great with theme and genre, and he can kind of write anything, and he has a beautiful expression musically. He expresses himself great vocally too, although he'll be the first one to tell you he doesn't think of himself as much of a singer, which I couldn't disagree more. Yeah, because I love to hear him sing. He's got such a rich voice, but yeah, he really is sort of like, he makes it look so easy. He's also one of those singers that, and forgive me, Barry, if you're listening, but the older that Barry gets, the better his voice gets, the richer the tone is, like a fine wine. The tone is incredible. I completely agree. And he sings everything live, and, he pops out notes that, people 20 years his junior can't sing. Right. So anyway, and I just love his approach. His intention is always really clear. I'm not going to give away his secrets. No. But he has a very specific intention when he sings, and that's why we all feel like he sings just to us. I feel it too, just standing on stage with him. It's magic. And so anyway, he inspires me a great deal, and I'm really fortunate I got to work with him. Yeah, and I get the same feeling from you when I'm not on stage with you and I'm in the audience watching you perform. Even if you don't know where I am in the audience, I feel like you're singing to me. Aw. I see that, and certainly I've seen Barry perform many, many times with you and or you with him. Yeah. And thanks. And I get that from from you on stage when you were with Barry also. That it's a very personal, intimate experience for me as an audience member, even if I'm in a stadium. Oh, wow. That's cool. I feel like, I used to have to deal with some anxiety when I was younger. And I always, one of the tools or tricks, I guess, that I learned was to just sing to one person. And that would help any butterflies or anxiety I might have in performing if I ever got in my head. I'm writing that down. Okay, yeah. Some free advice. It works for me. Yeah, just to choose just one person to sing to and just tell them the story and all your butterflies go away. It's just a one-on-one exchange. It's really helpful. I mentioned earlier in your extremely long and edited list of credits, but you also were a Harlette with Bette Midler. I know that you did that earlier on in your career, and you did a lot of things with her that were pretty remarkable, including performing a 6-week sold-out engagement with Bette Midler at Radio City Music Hall. Yeah. That must have been so exciting. Oh, man. It was really a heady time, really thrilling to be in New York for all that time. We were there for about 8 weeks, I think, including, production rehearsal and stuff. I mean, Radio City is a legendary venue. Everybody knows it. And it was really, it was, I can't even describe it. Every night you'd look out in the audience and Prince was there and Diana Ross and Donald Sutherland and Steven Spielberg, like everyone came to support her and to see this show. And the show was gorgeous. I think I did 3 tours with her and a bunch of other cool stuff. And she's just, she's another one. She's sort of self-made woman, self-made performer. She defined her own, she redefined, I think, what it meant to be a female performer and comedian and actor and everything else. She is fearless, and I love the way that she shows up for herself and on stage. It's really, I mean, we all, who doesn't love Bette Midler? Sure. But there were times when I'd be performing with her and I'd forget where I was, almost miss a cue because I'd be so busy cracking up at her or just enjoying what she was doing. Well, she also created an opportunity for a young woman like yourself to bring in your entire skill set, not just your singing, but your dancing and your acting background too, which was very unique without being in a Broadway show.
Man, I tell you.
You know, in a way it had a theatrical aspect, of course, but it's not like you're not reciting the same lines in a Broadway show. You're singing and performing and twirling. And,
that's right.
And
lots of twirling.
And
yes, we can thank Tony Basil for the choreography and the staging. And Bette was, I mean, everyone was so intrinsically involved, and the show was gorgeous. All the tours were gorgeous. But yeah, it was an amazing process. I think 500 women auditioned, and it got down to the three of us after a very long process, almost a 2-month process, believe it or not, back in '93. So, you know, by the time it was all over with, I thought, gosh, now the journey really begins. The journey was, I thought the audition was a trip, which it was, but we had an amazing experience. Me and Carol Hatchett, Ray Ontario, my fellow Harlette sisters.
You know, it's a very elite group of artists who have been Harlettes, and including
Melissa Manchester
and actually Barry Manilow back in the very, very beginning.
Luther Vandross sang with her early on, and some amazing women, Katie Segal.
Yes.
And others who many of us are all friends. So, because it is a divine sisterhood.
We've got about a minute, so I wanted to.
It goes by so fast.
Yeah, it does. You can think about this answer, but I want everybody to know that Melanie was on the cover of Rolling Stone magazine, and I'm going to ask her about that, how that came about. And again, I want to remind everybody that they can go to MelanieTaylormusic.com.
Right.
And to find out everything that's going on about her. And there are always things going on about you. And likewise with me, you can go to my website, terrywallman.com. And it's an everyday evolving website where you can see pictures and hear music and find out about our latest performances. So stick around, and we will be right back with Melanie Taylor on Making It with Terry Wallman.
You know what's all around you every waking moment of your life? Marketing. You're choking on it. I'm Scott Robertson, and when it comes to strategic PR, branding, and marketing, I've seen it all. And actually, I'm still seeing it because bad marketing never sleeps. Join me each week on May the Best Brand Win, right here on Intertalk Radio, and learn how to make the marketing for your brand unforgettable.
Are you serious about your music? Are you ready to run with the big dogs? The experts at Pitbull Audio have the gear to get you into the game. From leading manufacturers like Mesa Boogie, Fender, Pioneer, and American Audio. To sound your best, you need the best. Pitbull Audio can deliver in rehearsal, on stage, and into the big time. Dropping beats, shredding guitar, or making the crowd roar. Whatever you dream, Pitbull Audio can help make it happen. We are Pitbull Audio. We want you to play it loud. PitbullAudio.com.
Hi, this is Tim Dolbear, host of Sound Experience here on Intertalk Radio. And Source Connect by Source Element is the essential tool that we use to link between my studio in Austin, Texas, and the WS radio station in San Diego. Now, with Source Connect, not only can we communicate in real time and with HD audio, but it's synced up and is of a high enough quality that I can use it for real-time ADR work, remote recording, and overdubbing, and it even allows me to remotely control a DAW. Source Connect by Source Element, affordable, high-quality audio and video connection over the internet for all of your production needs.
This is Jackie Bertoni from Jackie's Groove. Come join me weekly on my journey through the music business as I take you behind the velvet rope, interviewing industry notables such as Al Di Meola, Michael McDonald, and Al Jarreau, to name but a few. Listen to their stories on being in the studios recording #1 hits and onto the stages throughout the globe. Allow me to be your music historian. You can hear me live every Monday at 2 p.m. and every Wednesday at 12 noon Pacific Standard Time or 24/7 on jackiesgroove.com. Ready to get your groove on?
Has your business been appified? Are you tired of doing marketing that doesn't deliver results? Mobile apps build loyalty and quality retention. Your app from UPG Mobile puts your business on their mind and at their fingertips. UPG Mobile will give you a custom app highlighting how you are unique, targeting your message, and improving your open rates. Amplify your business and amplify your presence with your customers at upgmobilemarketinggroup.com.
Hi, I'm Tim Dolbear, the host of Sound Experience on Intertalk Radio. Each week, I talk with top professional audio engineers, producers, musicians, and the manufacturers that make the tools that we use in the studio each and every day. From capturing the perfect take to mastering your final release, and the tools and how the pros use them, we are going to dive deep into their process and learn from their experience. I look forward to you joining us each week on Sound Experience with me, your host, Tim Dolbear.
Welcome to Making It with Terry Woolman, the show that explores the secrets, successes, and strategies for making it in the music biz. And now, here's your host, Terry Woolman.
It may be miles beyond the moon, or right there where you stand. Just keep an open mind, and then suddenly you'll find never, never land. You have a treasure if you stay there, more precious far than gold. For once you have found your way there, you will never, never, never grow old. And that's my home, where dreams are born.
Wow. That is Melanie Taylor singing her a cappella arrangement of Never Never Land on her most recent album, The Road I'm On, which I had the honor of co-producing with Jerry Lynn and working very closely, the three of us, Melanie, you and Jerry Lynn and I, to make this record. It's not really a full band record, so it was very deliberately a very intimate experience.
Right. Yeah.
We brought in a few of your friends.
Yes,
our
Ron
friends.
Walters. And, well, if I start naming people, I'm going to forget someone. I should not. But anyway.
Lenny Castro.
Christopher Gray on trumpet.
Ian Martin.
Ian doing a beautiful job on Love Has the Final Word.
Yes.
A song was inspired by writings of Dr. Martin Luther King.
Mm-hmm.
I love you all. Thank you all for being a part of the record, because now I'm going to forget everyone that I should have thanked. But anyway, yes, Never Never Land was inspired completely. I almost stolen from Todd Rundgren. And then my friend Patty Balbo did an arrangement of it. And it always haunted me. And I worked for Disney for about 10 years singing with bands. And
straight out of college, right?
Pretty much. I toured and traveled and lived in Japan for almost a year, singing with bands, and I was a dancer and stuff. So, and doing tons and tons of really cool projects and lots of really great trips and all over the world. But so Never Never Land, of course, from Peter Pan, was kind of a little homage to growing up and keeping your sense of wonder. And I just always wanted to tackle it. I just thought would be fun to do all those tracks. And I don't know how many there are. I have to ask my producer.
I'm sitting right here and we lost count.
I don't know.
I'd have to go back to my notes.
Maybe you're somewhere around 15 or 20,
there was more.
20?
Yeah, there was probably about 20 vocal tracks.
Okay. So anyway, so that was kind of a really fun, and more challenging than I anticipated. But yeah, it was fun.
I'm glad you wanted to do an a cappella piece. I thought it was great, and particularly that one. I think it's a beautiful addition to the record, and really,
thank you.
Really, a beautiful point of view.
Thank you. You either get it or you don't.
Right.
Some people are like, I don't understand. I was like, well, then maybe that one's not for you. Maybe you'll find something else that you like on the record.
Right.
It's a little esoteric, but we loved doing it.
Yeah.
So thank you for that.
Well, there's a lot of things that I want to ask you, but let's get back to the Rolling Stone question.
Oh, yeah, sure.
And not spend a lot of time on that. But what's the short version?
Yeah.
The short answer to ending up on the Millennium
issue.
Yeah. Thank you,
Yeah.
of Rolling Stone magazine.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we were on tour with Bette, and they had approached her about doing a layout in the magazine because they were making it really special, of course, for the turn of the century. And Mark Seliger, incredible photographer, came in and after the show one night and started shooting. Literally walked off stage and we walked into the photo shoot, and they shot and we didn't find out until later that we were definitely on the cover with about 100 other artists. They did this brilliant collage. I have a copy somewhere, and so we were on the cover, and then we had a gorgeous spread on the 2-page spread on the inside with Bette and the Harlettes and the dancers. It was really cool.
I remember actually on the last night also of the David Letterman show, the final episode, there was a collage of things that they had done, and you ended up on that as well.
Isn't that something?
Yeah, it was fantastic.
Yeah, it was freezing that day. His studios are notoriously, Arctic.
They're cold.
Anyways, yeah.
Here's I'm so fascinated by process, and
me
we share that curiosity and that passion. You have toured with a very stylistically diverse range of artists, from Barry Manilow and Aerosmith to John Mayer and Bette Midler, and of course more. How is your preparation the same or different for learning each of these artists' shows?
That's a great question. Really great question. It just depends a little bit on the artist, but my approach is always to learn as much as I can before we start. And sometimes you're provided with a lot of material, like with Barry and Bette, everything is sort of charted and handed to you. And sometimes you're not. Like with John Mayer, we ended up creating a lot of vocals with him because he wanted to do something new. And we had 2 women and 3 men were singing, 3 guys, a couple of guys in the band, of course, sang. And so it just depends. But I just like to listen to as much as I can get my hands on. With Aerosmith, I had a lot of their material, and a lot of it I got from a dear friend of mine who had the catalog, had all the records. So I went and borrowed all the records and listened to this stuff. So kind of like total immersion,
because is a
big part of it.
I know that some artists, I know from my experiences as a touring musician, but also my experience watching you prepare for each of your tours, that some artists are very hands-on and they send you a lot of material, and then some artists like Aerosmith or John Mayer have a more spontaneous approach,
a little more relaxed,
and there's a reasonable assumption that you're going to come in and you'll be fine.
That's right. There was a lot of confidence instilled. Like, you're gonna knock it out of the park. And I thought, gosh, now I have to over prepare because I don't want to let anybody down.
Right.
But that's rock and roll. I mean, we definitely had parts, and we definitely learned a lot of stuff. But a lot of stuff was sort of left up to the Holy Ghost. It was like in the moment, which made it even more thrilling. Being on stage with Steven is a incredible, visceral kind of experience. There's no one quite like him, as we all know. And he's one of my spirit animals, along with Tina Turner and Bugs Bunny. And, he's an extraordinary life force. You
and Steven have a fantastic relationship. I love watching the two of you on and off stage together. It's really entertaining.
We laugh a lot.
You sure do. And you share the same taste in clothing and jewelry.
The more the better.
Right. Tell me about your experience touring with the legendary Quincy Jones.
Oh gosh, that was such a gift. Oh man, yeah, that brings me back. We did 3 weeks going around the world. We started at the Montreux Jazz Festival, and we went to Tokyo and Seoul, Korea. And Quincy is an ambassador of music, as we all know, and talk about a legend. I mean, half the time I couldn't believe we were all sharing the same air as him. And he was so hands-on, and he was so excited to be, sharing his music around the world. He has a great foundation where he supports and brings new artists, very young artists, to the table and shares their work with the world. And he finds these incredible...
and also exposes and integrates them into the older artists that he's been working with for years. So
that's true.
I don't mean to interrupt.
No, that's true. He
doesn't throw the baby out with the bathwater.
No, he believes that everyone has a place at the table, I think. And I love his philosophy. And it was really a thrill and an honor to be with him and watch him work. You know, he would get up and conduct. Jerry Hay was there as well. And hi, Jerry, if you're listening. Was really, I mean, honestly, I can't even tell you. It was, we just would sit and watch. I felt like I'm just a fly on the wall, you know. Participating in this thing was really inspiring. So inspiring to be on the road with him. I mean, of all the people.
Yeah, and he gathers the best musicians in the world. Everybody shows up and makes him their first call. Yeah,
J.R. Robinson, Dean Parks,
Neil Steubenhouse.
Neil, it was really amazing. Patty Austin, James Ingram, Saida Garrett, all brilliant. And I'm leaving people out.
Greg
I apologize. Of course, Greg and so many other amazing musicians who show up for Quincy. Take Six was on this tour.
Right.
So, yeah, it was really, really something. I didn't want it to end.
I know you have a very strong personal yoga practice. What is your take on health and wellness for today's working artist?
Oh, okay. Well,
we have about a minute.
Okay, I'll try to. I'm so verbose. I'm so sorry. I'm trying to be concise. No. You know, I think it's critical for artists to have mind, body, and spirit together in order to be at optimum. So whatever you choose something. Choose something where you can be in nature, barefoot, facing the sunshine, facing the rain, whether you go to a park or the beach if you're fortunate, or wherever you are. Take 20 minutes a day to be with yourself and get quiet, because that's the only way you can really like download all the good stuff that allows you to create. I feel, you know, turn off your technology, walk out of your front door, and just be with yourself somehow, and look at other people, observe how the world is moving, and eat well, drink a lot of water, sleep, take naps. You know, I tell this to all the young artists that I'm fortunate enough to mentor and spend time with. It's not optional. I love my yoga practice. I've been practicing for about 25 years, but everyone should find something that works for them, and don't do anything that you don't love. If you know, if you love to run. If you don't love to run, walk. Figure it out.
That is great advice. I hope you all heed it. I do. We're here with Melanie Taylor. I'm Terry Wallman, and we'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Tim Dolbear, the host of Sound Experience on Intertalk Radio. Each week, I talk with top professional audio engineers, producers, musicians, and the manufacturers that make the tools that we use in the studio each and every day. From capturing the perfect take to mastering your final release, and the tools and how the pros use them, we are going to dive deep into their process and learn from their experience. I look forward to you joining us each week on Sound Experience with me, your host, Tim Dolbear. Hi, this is Tim Dolbear, host of Sound Experience here on Intertalk Radio. And Source Connect by Source Element is the essential tool that we use to link between my studio in Austin, Texas, and the WS radio station in San Diego. Now, with Source Connect, not only can we communicate in real time and with HD audio, but it's synced up and is of a high enough quality that I can use it for real-time ADR work, remote recording, and overdubbing, and it even allows me to remotely control a DAW. Source Connect by Source Element, affordable, high-quality audio and video connection over the internet for all of your production needs. Hi, this is Tim Dolbear from Eclectic Studios. I'm a full-time mixing and recording engineer. I work with Grammy winners, labels, and indie artists, using state-of-the-art digital mixing and restoration tools and the very best in analog gear. Really, though, it's my ability to bring tracks to life and fulfill your vision for your music. This has made me sought after by producers and artists worldwide. So spend your time working on music and not chasing a mix down a rabbit hole. Go to timdolbear.com and check out our free one-song mix offer.
Are you serious about your music? Are you ready to run with the big dogs? The experts at Pitbull Audio have the gear to get you into the game. From leading manufacturers like Mesa Boogie, Fender, Pioneer, and American Audio. To sound your best, you need the best. Pitbull Audio can deliver in rehearsal, on stage, and into the big time. Dropping beats, shredding guitar, or making the crowd roar. Whatever you dream, Pitbull Audio can help make it happen. We are Pitbull Audio. We want you to play it loud. PitbullAudio.com.
You know what's all around you every waking moment of your life? Marketing. You're choking on it. I'm Scott Robertson, and when it comes to strategic PR, branding, and marketing, I've seen it all. And actually, I'm still seeing it because bad marketing never sleeps. Join me each week on May the Best Brand Win, right here on InnerTalk Radio, and learn how to make the marketing for your brand unforgettable.
This is Jackie Bertoni from Jackie's Groove. Come join me weekly on my journey through the music business as I take you behind the velvet rope, interviewing industry notables such as Al Di Meola, Michael McDonald, and Al Jarreau, to name but a few. Listen to their stories on being in the studios recording #1 hits and onto the stages throughout the globe. Allow me to be your music historian. You can hear me live every Monday at 2 p.m. and every Wednesday at 12 noon Pacific Standard Time or 24/7 on jackiesgroove.com. Ready to get your groove on?
Welcome to Making It with Terry Woolman, the show that explores the secrets, successes, and strategies for making it in the music biz. And now, here's your host, Terry Woolman.
Get yourself in gear. Keep your stride. Never mind your fears. Oh, 'cause brighter days will soon be here. Oh, take it from me, someday we'll all be free.
Welcome back. I'm Terry Woolman in studio with Melanie Taylor, and that is Someday We'll All Be Free with her and pianist Ron Walters Jr.
Yeah.
And that is from the record
The Road I'm On.
The Road I'm On.
Right.
That's beautiful.
Thank you.
Beautiful recording.
Thank you.
I know that you spent your childhood in the dance studio.
Yes.
And went on to receive your Bachelor of Arts in Theater and Dance from Cal State University at Fullerton.
Right.
First of all,
Go Titans.
Oh, go Titans! First of all, didn't your grandmother make your first costume for your for your first dance recital?
She certainly did, and I have it
You
to this
do?
day. Yes,
I haven't seen it.
Okay, I should frame it. Yes, my grandmother was a great seamstress and a great designer. Yeah, my first gig was dancing in the Arabian Nights at 6 years old. And yes, I still have my costume. It doesn't fit anymore, but but yeah, my roots go deep.
And that shows a very basic difference between you and I, because my very first performance when I was 6, I think I was a tree or a teapot.
Right.
I don't remember which.
I know, right?
Although then my next part was as Abraham Lincoln, and I actually had to memorize the Emancipation Proclamation in elementary school. So
wow, that's very impressive.
Yeah. And I get to wear a big stove hat and a beard.
I think it's so great when kids are interested in performing. You can put them in little plays and stuff. Not push them, but if they show any kind of interest, I mean, even if they don't pursue it for the rest of their lives, it opens you up, and it's great to play pretend, and it still is to this day. It's fun to dress up and be somebody else.
Well, let's find that costume and frame it and put it up on the wall. I would like to see that every day.
Okay.
I also know that you spent hours as a child in your bedroom memorizing songs from the radio. How did that prepare you for your path as a professional singer?
Well, because my friend Kai Brackett, every time he forgets, verse 3 of any given song on the top 40, he calls me. I don't know. I love radio. I do. And I spent my life listening to Casey Kasem in the American Top 40 like every Sunday morning, right? And I would I would literally write down every song that was on the top 40, and then I would just memorize it. And I'd go to the record store and buy the 45 and sit and do the needle drop and sing a different part every time. Then first I'd sing the lead, then I'd sing the backing vocals,
right.
And then I'd sing the male part. And it was always out of my range. If there was a duet, who knows? I can't remember off the top of my head, but yeah, Ashford and Simpson or Diana Ross, something like that, Anyway, so how did that prepare me? Well, I guess it just trained my brain. It trained my brain to listen, trained me to listen.
To words and to parts.
Words and parts.
Yeah.
And I love words. I'm a voracious reader. I never read anything twice because life is short. I want to read more, so I don't read many things over again. But yeah, I love words and I love harmonics. There's nothing sweeter than singing with other singers. I love doing parts. It's really fun.
And you also have the pretty, it's not rare, but not many great ensemble singers are also great lead singers. They don't know how to put their foot in both worlds to really have a voice as an individual artist and vocalist, but then also to understand your place in the blend.
That's right.
So I really appreciate that about you.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
I think singing to the top 40 helped. I really do, because when I would listen to, like I say, certain parts, and I think singing, everyone has their preference and everyone has different gifts and different skill sets or abilities and what have you. But it really is just about a shift in perspective. And I think it's really important, even if you maybe only sing lead or only sing, backing vocals, switch it up sometimes and treat yourself to the experience of doing something different. You may not like it, but you're not going to know unless you try. And it's really, it will help your perspective for both, I think. It certainly does for me. And as a recording artist and as a writer, doing a lot of touring work and a lot of singing other people's songs, there was a point in my life where I sort of forgot how to sing my own. And that was a little alarming,
Right, sure.
actually, because I'd done lead vocals way before I sang backing vocals, although I did chamber singers and concert choir and stuff in high school. But I really sort of lost my voice somewhere along the way. So it was a process of remembering, sort of what I was made of and rediscovering what I wanted to say and how I wanted to say it, and not judging my voice, just trying to love it for what it had to offer. And I don't mean love it like I'm so great, because I'm not, but just loving the medium of my voice as the deliverer of the message, kind of in my heart.
Right. And
my head,
allowing you to be the vessel for the message to come through.
Yeah. And just sort of getting out of the way a little bit of your idea of what you should sound like.
Right.
That was challenging.
Sure.
But so far, so good.
We are actually have about 2.5 minutes. We're coming to the end of our show. But
No
I've
way.
got 2 questions for you. Speaking of traveling, you've been traveling the world for most of your professional life.
Yes.
What is your most favorite and least favorite thing about traveling?
My least favorite? Airports. Period. The end.
And mine as well.
I mean, I got to say, my most favorite, I think, is looking forward to where I'm going, and that helps me to get there. It helps with the process of packing and all the things like that. I just love, and getting excited about wherever it is I'm going and what I might see there. And, I don't know. That's pretty much it, really. Just, I love getting it, focusing on the destination a little bit. That helps make the process of airports and little airplanes easier. So,
my final question for you, at this stage of your life, with everything that you know to be true, what would you tell your younger self, little 6-year-old Melanie?
I mean, I would say don't be afraid. Just go for it. And know that you have what you need. And if you ever feel like you're lacking something, just breathe and wait for the answer to show up. And not to worry about what other people think. Just be as much you as you can possibly be. I had an acting teacher tell me that one time. I have Daryl Hickman to thank for that. I was struggling with a monologue, and I thought, oh man, I'm gonna flunk this class. And he said, just be the most you that you can be. So I guess that would be my advice to 6-year-old Melanie.
Be the most you that you can be.
Yeah.
I really appreciate you doing the show with me today. It's been really fun, and it's fun to have you here across from me instead of Skyping in from the other end of the world.
Exactly. Thank you so much. And thank you, all of you, for listening. My friends who are tuning in, Linda Griffin, Cindy Hall. Hey, ladies.
My brother Michael from Miami.
Michael from Miami.
Yeah, we've gotten
anyone else who's listening. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for texting in. And I want to remind everybody that you can find everything that you need to know about Melanie Taylor at MelanieTaylormusic.com. Also, your Facebook page is?
Yes, Melanie Taylor Artist.
Melanie Taylor Artist?
Correct. So, yeah, join me there, and I try to post at least twice a week. Not just about my gigs and stuff. I do have a couple. Oh, I want to say I have a gig coming up. Oh, gosh. Spaghettini's in Seal Beach. If anyone is, in Southern California,
go to spaghettini.com. I'll be playing with Melanie, music directing, and we'll see you there. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We appreciate it.
Thanks, everyone.
Tune in again next week for another great episode of Making It with Terry Woolman.
Are you serious about your music? Are you ready to run with the big dogs? The experts at Pitbull Audio have the gear to get you into the game. From leading manufacturers like Mesa Boogie, Fender, Pioneer, and American Audio. To sound your best, you need the best. Pitbull Audio can deliver in rehearsal, on stage, and into the big time. Dropping beats, shredding guitar, or making the crowd roar. Whatever you dream, Pitbull Audio can help make it happen. We are Pitbull Audio. We want you to play it loud. PitbullAudio.com.
This is Jackie Bertoni from Jackie's Groove. Come join me weekly on my journey through the music business as I take you behind the velvet rope, interviewing industry notables such as Al Di Meola, Michael McDonald, and Al Jarreau, to name but a few. Listen to their stories on being in the studios recording #1 hits and onto the stages throughout the globe. Allow me to be your music historian. You can hear me live every Monday at 2 p.m. and every Wednesday at 12 noon Pacific Standard Time or 24/7 on jackiesgroove.com. Ready to get your groove on?
Hey, it's Catherine from Listen Local Radio. Moe's Guitars has proudly served the San Diego music community since 1975. Specializing in guitars, basses, mandolins, banjos, and ukuleles, they buy, sell, trade, and consign. If you're looking for lessons, repairs, accessories, and cool gear, you found the right place. Located in downtown La Mesa Village, stop by and check out their digs or visit moesguitars.com or their Facebook page. mozeguitars.com, 619-698-1185.
Hi, this is Tim Dolbear, host of Sound Experience here on Intertalk Radio. And Source Connect by Source Element is the essential tool that we use to link between my studio in Austin, Texas, and the WS radio station in San Diego. Now, with Source Connect, not only can we communicate in real time and with HD audio, but it's synced up and is of a high enough quality that I can use it for real-time ADR work, remote recording, and overdubbing, and it even allows me to remotely control a DAW. Source Connect by Source Element, affordable, high-quality audio and video connection over the internet for all of your production needs. Hi, I'm Tim Dolbear, the host of Sound Experience on Intertalk Radio. Each week, I talk with top professional audio engineers, producers, musicians, and the manufacturers that make the tools that we use in the studio each and every day. From capturing the perfect take to mastering your final release, and the tools and how the pros use them, we are going to dive deep into their process and learn from their experience. I look forward to you joining us each week on Sound Experience with me, your host, Tim Dolbear.
You know what's all around you every waking moment of your life? Marketing. You're choking on it. I'm Scott Robertson, and when it comes to strategic PR, branding, and marketing, I've seen it all. And actually, I'm still seeing it because bad marketing never sleeps. Join me each week on May the Best Brand Win, right here on Intertalk Radio, and learn how to make the marketing for your brand unforgettable.